of them for New York. No longer the best winning percentage.
You expect your front offices to hit that gas pedal when it comes time to get a better team on the field post All-Star break, because the one thing that you know from the Yankees and the Orioles is what, Ben? You're going to fight with each other throughout the stretch here, and you want home field advantage.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
You know, this guy is the mad scientist. I mean, he's all about green density. So in my mind, I feel like he's going to have the green speeds dialed in, and the angles he needs to land them and all that sort of stuff. I feel like he's going to be a good spot and playing the course well. And he's going to be hitting less club into a lot of these par threes too. So I just, we're talking about using a live guy. I love Bryson this week. I'm riding with Bryson.
Only on SportsGrid.
This new sports integrity partnership, Genius Sports, is involved in this. More protection.
They said that's going to allow them to beef up their protection and add more integrity monitoring tools to essentially catch bad behavior before it happens. This comes, obviously, after a just ton of scandals we've had across sports betting lately, whether it's the MLB umpire, Pat Hobert.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
Despite me being a Yankee fan, I think Joe would deserve the label as Aaron Judge's biggest fan, not through any bias, but just through the amount of money that he's made anybody who's been betting on him.
I just had him for that home run, and I'm going to go back to it today. That home run coming in at plus 230. Max Fried here, while he has been strong, this is Aaron Judge.
GameTime Decisions, only on SportsGrid.
Technically, despite having the most wins in both the AL and all of Major League Baseball.
And welcome in. Happy Friday. It is Game Time Decisions here on the SportsGrid Network on this August the 2nd. By now, we have all come to the realization that football is back. Yes, we had a little bit of football last night to enjoy, kicking things off of the 24-25 season. We'll have more football coming up next Thursday and Friday as week one of the preseason will take center stage. Abbreviated game last night, thanks to Mother Nature, but certainly it was good to watch some football, even if it was the Chicago Bears and the Houston Texans. Backups to the backups. It was actually in no way, shape, or form ever going to be an under. So kudos to the NFL kicking it off the right way, getting all sorts of points. It was fun to have it back. And, of course, now that we know that football is here and that training camps are here, well, the injuries are starting to pile up, apparently. We'll have more news on that coming up. But first, the Olympics off and running all day today. The U.S. still racking up the medals, which is what we like to see here. As you can see up at the top there, coming in 9 gold, 18 silver, 16 bronze, 43 in total. And that one right up at the top for the bronze medal in the men's 10,000 meter. The 10,000 meter. U.S. runners never get medals in the 10,000 meter. How this guy did it from Utah, 27-year-old, is amazing. We have not medaled in the 10,000 meter in the Olympics since 1964. We actually won gold that year, and we've never made the podium since, well, until today. So kudos there as we got the bronze medal in one of the most unusual events there. We did get, of course, silver, as you can see there, with Reagan Smith in a women's 200 meter. Mixed team in archery. That was fun today, watching that. That was actually really fun, watching the archery. If you had a chance to see it, not exactly what I was expecting, although I wasn't sure what the hell I had to expect because I've never watched it before, but I was pretty tuned into it. So pretty cool stuff across the board in the Olympics. You learn a little something new every day. But China still sitting atop of the gold medal count there, followed by the home nation, France, followed by Australia, and then us and Great Britain picking up the rear with 9 golds. But, of course, Team USA racking up the medals as a whole. One thing we won't be medaling in is the men's soccer, as, the American men ended their tournament in Paris pretty much the same way it began, right? Absolutely getting destroyed in a game that the better team, with the support of the home crowd, ended up winning here. It was the first match of the games, if you recall, that they lost to France 3-0, and then, today they were eliminated by Morocco 4-0. I wouldn't say it was a failure for the men necessarily in France, because they were, I believe, the first men's soccer team in over 20 years to actually advance out of the group stage. So, baby steps here, I guess, if you're Team USA, but we just watched them in the Copa America throw up all over themselves. All sorts of changes coming to the men's soccer team here in this country. Hopefully they will, they'll be just as good as the women sooner or later. And the women certainly have an opportunity to continue their quest for a gold medal, as USA and Japan will meet in an extremely high-stakes game. Once again, as you can see, USA clearly the home favorite, not the home favorite, rather, favorite at minus 350 over Japan. This is going to be a fun one coming up tomorrow, and they will kick off. It's the knockout round. So it's interesting that it'll be the quarterfinals here. Usually we're used to seeing the United States and Japan in the finals. But the winner will move on to the semifinals and meet the winners of Canada and Germany. So that is going to be a fun one here. But Team USA has a very long history against Japan. And this will be on tomorrow, in fact, the 41st all-time meeting between these two nations. That's kind of crazy here. They have faced each other in 3 previous world championships, with Japan winning during the 2011 FIFA Women's World Cup, and the United States as champions during the 2012 London Games and the 2015 World Cup. So this should be good. 9 a.m. tomorrow morning, we'll be able to wake up on the East Coast here to a little bit of soccer between 2 of the best in the world, with Japan taking on Team USA. Certainly looking forward to how that goes. And we did also wake up this morning to a little bit of golf as Xander Schauffele, the American, former gold, actually reigning gold medal winner from the last Olympics in Japan, is up at the top here, along with 3 others in after 36 holes. As you can see, 3 tied, 11 under there. Tommy Fleetwood with a great round today. Hideki Matsuyama gave some strokes back here today, but this is a very, and I mean a very interesting next 36 holes with guys like John Rahm now in the mix. Tom Kim, everyone knows the story. Of course, he has got a 2-year mandatory military enlistment coming if he does not place in either a bronze, silver, or gold, because that has been the rules for men in South Korea forever. So him and Benny An are in that spot, and Tom Kim has actually played himself into contention here at 8 under par. Scotty Scheffler still lurking, not that far off at 6 under. Anything can happen here, but it still feels, after watching this today, that Xander Schauffele, it's his gold to not win. I think Tommy Fleetwood, very familiar with this golf course, and it is shown. Very comfortable in these surroundings. John Rahm, coming off of his first Live Tour win, also playing some of his best golf, rounding into form. And, of course, Hideki Matsuyama, a 2-time major winner, is not going to be intimidated by this at all. Don't forget, he was one of the members, including C.T. Pan last year, who was also at 8 under par, Both of them were in a playoff, a 7-person playoff last year for a bronze medal. So a lot of experience on this board as far as former Olympian medal winners in golf. So this is going to be a very exciting 36 holes coming up tomorrow morning again and Sunday. So we are certainly looking forward to seeing how that all pans out. Get ready, though. A whole lot of track and field events are coming up over this weekend, and Team USA is absolutely expected to dominate in a number of the events. So I certainly think that the gold count will be rising in the track and field events. Started today. It'll last into the weekend, but Grant Fisher, kudos, something we never thought we'd ever see again. A U.S. team member placing in the 10,000 meter race, 27-year-old. So kudos to him for getting the bronze here today and starting off the track and field events with a medal. You got to love that. All right, coming up, we got a full slate of Major League Baseball action. We got plenty more Olympics to talk about. Both the men and women basketball teams will be in action this weekend. So a lot going on, not to mention football is here. We'll give you the latest when Game Time Decisions continues here on the Grid.
Recently, I feel like I'm not doing anything wrong. I'm not making bad swings. I don't feel like I'm making terrible decisions, and just had got a little bit of a streak of bad luck on par fives. Didn't birdie any of them at the Open, didn't birdie any of them today. It's just, and I didn't feel like I did anything terribly wrong, right? But that's just golf. It happens. What's done is done, and this week is the most important week of the year right now.
If he lands it pin high, he's going to be off over the pin position and leave himself a tough putt there. That should bite now. He didn't like it by the looks of it, but he'll love it when he sees it.
Just get this before that bunker. Put himself in a good position.
Just a tiny little baby fade, ideally placed.
To tie the lead at 16. Playing well, isn't he, John Rahm?
And OMG, what a championship Sunday we just witnessed.
Win, right? Selfishly, you always want to get that done, but you don't want to see a teammate and a good friend, missing a putt for that happening for me.
The Live Golf League delivers every single event, doesn't it? I mean, what an incredible finish there. You know what, Tyrrell Hatton, I feel for him. He's been playing beautiful golf. In fact, since Miami, he's been the best player in our league based on the strokes gained metric.
I'm really happy that I had my first Live Golf win. Now that Kelly and the kids are watching, just knowing that I'm bringing the trophy home for them, it feels good to say that it's coming home.
All right, welcome back in-game live. Coming up at 8 o'clock, it is Game Time Decisions. Don't pay attention to me. Joe Raineri, appreciate you stopping by here on the SportsGrid Networks. Feels like just an hour ago it was the early line, but no, we have advanced. We are at Game Time Decisions, and get ready because we got a ton of games coming up in Major League Baseball as the home stretch. Now that we've reached August, before we know it, the end of the regular season will be here. Teams still jockeying for position. When it comes to the postseason, we have an extra wild card spot. We've got some teams playing their best baseball this season right now. and we have some teams playing their worst baseball of the season right now. Joining me is our good friend George Kurtz, who knows this all too well. And George, it's interesting. So some teams seem to have figured it out a little bit later on in the season, while some teams started off a little bit slow, but have turned it around here. I'm looking at Arizona here taking on Pittsburgh. That game coming up here in just about 20 minutes. That'll be our first one. We've got 3 games coming up during this hour, but let's start with Arizona, who, again, started slow, but seems to have figured some things out here. And let's not forget, they are the reigning National League pennant champs here. So they were in the World Series last season. So what do you like in this one here tonight? Do you think Pittsburgh gets back on track, or is it just a matter of time before we're laughing at Pittsburgh thinking they'll make the playoffs?
Well, I kind of do lean towards your last line there. I think it is. I'm not going to use the word laughing. Okay, I think that's kind of a rude, little mean there. This is why you should have a little tagline: "Don't pay attention to me" at the bottom of your thing there. But I think they will fall out of it. I do. I think they'll fall out of it here. Whether or not they do tonight, Arizona did make a couple of announcements today. Sewell is no longer the closer. I imagine AJ Puck is going to go into that role, though they haven't specifically said that. Maybe it's whatever matchups thing is going. And Eduardo Rodriguez apparently going to make his team debut. Hasn't pitched for them all season on Tuesday. As for tonight's game, I mean, I want to take the plus money. I do, because I think this is a close game. I don't think it's a blowout one way or the other here. But Brandon Pfaadt pitched well lately for Arizona. Pittsburgh still doesn't score a lot of runs, which is concerning here. It's hard not to lean with the Diamondbacks.
Yep, 17 winners of, I believe, 17 of their last 25 games in the month of July. I mean, really good stuff. They have finally figured it out coming out of that 3-game sweep of the Washington Nationals. 7 games, season high 7 games, over 500. You got to love the spot that they did the same thing last year. Nobody was talking about them, and it feels like it's a absolute repeat of that. Nobody just flying under the radar, and I'd be careful with that team. Also, not necessarily, well, I guess flying under the radar. Nobody's talking about the Royals either here, George, but people should. Since now, did you have them at 61 wins by the 1st of August? Because I didn't. And here they are. Look at this, taking on Detroit, maybe what is the pitching matchup of the night. What do you think we're going to get from Skubal and Reagans here in Detroit tonight?
Man, they want you to take the over. They made it 7. They want you to take this over. I just don't know. I don't know how Detroit's scoring runs. They can't score of late, right? No Riley Green. He's out. They don't have a great offense even with him, but without him, there's not much there. But they want you to take the over here. Yeah. Reagan's been a little up and down of lately. I think Skubal's going to pitch fine. But I can't take the over. That's where I'm going. I can't do it. This smells like a 3-1 loss. 2-1, 3-2, something like that. I think we're still going to get the under. I'm not taking it. It's too low a number for me. Might we want to take maybe the Tigers team total under? That might be something to go with there. I don't think they'll reach 3.5, so I might go there. I think Kansas City wins the game. Skubal's great. I just don't think he's going to get any run support in this game.
Yeah, well, it's going to be interesting, right? The Royals 4-game winning streak. Bobby Witt Jr., I believe, is now hitting .560 in his last 13 games. My goodness. He is absolutely crushing it here. But there are those that say, congratulations, Royals. You pretty much beat up on weak pitching and, games against the White Sox and what have you here. The word out of Detroit is that a lot of guys very upset that the management pretty much folded on the season as if they thought they were actually going to go anywhere. But Skubal is not a pitcher to sleep on here. This should be a fun one. I think the first 5 under is not a bad look either in this one here. Expect when the bullpens get in, good luck trying to figure that one out, George. I'd rather be done by the time the 6th inning gets there. Frankie Montas in a new uniform in Milwaukee taking on the Nats and Irving. How are you looking at this one here tonight with the Brewers and the Nats?
Montas has not pitched all that well. Now he's pitching in Washington. It's more of a pitcher's park, so I guess getting out of Cincinnati is good. Although I'm going to be concerned when he goes at home to Milwaukee. That's his extreme hitter's ballpark there. I think Washington's going to get to him in some ways tonight. Now, they don't have Winker anymore. They traded him to the Mets. So it's not the same lineup that it used to be. No Thomas either. So it's a weaker lineup, which is why I am not going to take the Nats to win this game. I think it was even money last I checked there. I'll go with Milwaukee to win, but I think it's going to be a high-scoring affair. I think I'm going to go with the over in this game as well. Milwaukee and the over.
Yeah, I don't hate that in the least bit here. I think the Brewers bats better get it going here. They're going to need to do that, and I'm with you. The Nats can be pesky, even though they traded away, their second and third hitter in the lineup there. I still think they can be pesky, and an over is not a bad look in this one here. And of course, we will have a whole bunch of games coming up in the 7 o'clock hour, including the Blue Jays and the Yankees. And let's just get it out of the way. Stroman is a gas can, but so is Gausman. How is this game not going over, Kurtz?
I agree with you. I think it does go over. I think Gausman will pitch longer than Stroman. Stroman can't get through the fifth inning. I like Vladimir Guerrero to hit a home run tonight. He's been hot. It is hot here in New York. Hot. Human Bulls going to travel tonight. I think we're going to see quite a few home runs tonight, but Guerrero is definitely getting one of them.
Oh, I like the way you're going there. All right, we got much more baseball action coming up. We'll start rattling off some of these 7 o'clock games here, see if we can come up with some best bets for you. So come back and join us. Game Time Decisions continues here on the grid.
Recently, I feel like I'm not doing anything wrong. I'm not making bad swings. I don't feel like I'm making terrible decisions, and just had got a little bit of a streak of bad luck on par fives. Didn't birdie any of them at the Open, didn't birdie any of them today. It's just, and I didn't feel like I did anything terribly wrong, right? But that's just golf. It happens. What's done is done, and this week is the most important week of the year right now.
If he lands it pin high, he's going to be off over the pin position and leave himself a tough putt there. That should bite now. He didn't like it by the looks of it, but he'll love it when he sees it.
Just get this before that bunker. Put himself in a good position.
Just a tiny little baby fade, ideally placed.
To tie the lead at 16. Playing well, isn't he, John Rahm?
And OMG, what a championship Sunday we just witnessed.
Win, right? Selfishly, you always want to get that done, but you don't want to see a teammate and a good friend, missing a putt for that happening for me.
The Live Golf League delivers every single event, doesn't it? I mean, what an incredible finish there. You know what, Tyrrell Hatton, I feel for him. He's been playing beautiful golf. In fact, since Miami, he's been the best player in our league based on the strokes gained metric.
I'm really happy that I had my first Live Golf win. Now that Kelly and the kids are watching, just knowing that I'm bringing a trophy home for them, it feels good to say that it's coming home.
All right, welcome back in Game Time Decisions here on the Sports Grid Network. I'm Joe Raineri, joined by George Kurtz here as we're getting ready for a loaded slate in Major League Baseball here tonight. We talked an over with Blue Jays and Yankees. Well, we had an over last night with the Guardians and the Orioles. The only problem is the Guardians went over by themselves as they dropped a 10 spot there on on Trevor Rogers, the new acquisition for the Orioles, that which kind of was not fair, right? Like, hey, meet your catcher. Rauschman, this is your pitcher. Pitcher, here's your catcher. Now go out and pitch. Didn't work out all that well, but Kremer on the mound taking on, I believe you actually caught Carlos Carrasco back in high school, didn't you? He's on the mound for the Guardians tonight. How are you going here, Kurtz, in this one?
I think that's an age joke. I think he's trying to say that
I'm just saying,
might be old.
You know.
I think he might be saying that. I'm with you here. I am all over the Orioles in this game. I think they're going to win the game. I took their team total over. I'm going to take the game going over. I think the Guardians are going to score some runs too. I just think Kramer won't give up as much as the O's will. Maybe take Baltimore first 5 as well. I am worried about the Baltimore bullpen. All right, that's their weakness. I don't care they got Sir Anthony Dominguez. That wasn't enough here. I don't know what Craig Kimbrell is right now. Is he a late inning reliever? I don't think he's the closer anymore, but I don't know who the closer is for this team here. So I'm going to go Baltimore across the board here. They win the game. I'm taking them first 5, and just in case the bullpen does blow it there. I think Cleveland scores runs too, so I'm going to take the over in this contest as well.
So Schwellenbach back on the mound for the Braves. I was on him last outing, and he was phenomenal for him, especially when they needed this kid to be good because they couldn't hit. And ever since that start, they have hit a lot, Atlanta here, and they've got an opportunity to beat up once again on Miami here tonight. Do you like the Braves to get it done?
So let me say this. He pitched Schwell. No.
Oh boy! Wow.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm sorry. I apologize
itself.
for that.
Yeah, that was.
I should be ashamed.
Yeah, that was great.
I'll show myself out now. That's not even a mic job. That's just what are you saying here? Yeah, I'm on Atlanta tonight, of course. Right? There's a reason I'm Captain Chalk, and I don't think. Listen, Miami traded everybody. Miami's going to be a pick against team most of the rest of the season here. It's a matter of how you want to attack them. You're not going to lay the money line here, so you can go. I hit it a couple of directions. I'll take the run line. You just said it. Atlanta's hitting now. So if they hit, they'll score runs. They'll cover the 1.5. I'll take that. I have them in a parlay as well. I have them first 5. My 2 big bets tonight are Atlanta and the Orioles. So I need them to come through here, and I'll have a good night here. But I don't see any way. Like I said, Schwellenbach is not just a guy they're throwing in there. He's a decent pitcher here. Decent pitcher. Pitched very well against the Mets last week in the contest you're talking about. I think he follows it up with another great, good start tonight.
Who are you looking at in the White Sox Twins? Another, you're not going to lay $3. I mean, it's Joe Ryan. I get it. But Twins at home, is this a parlay piece for you? I'm going to go out on a limb here and think that the Twins are absolutely on your card, probably with the Braves.
There you go. You set that in earlier. The Minnesota and Braves is your parlay. As far as the early nights go, the early slate is, once again, we know that the White Sox are historically bad. All right, and you're picking against them. You want to go the run line? Fine, although I didn't love the price there. I'll take them in a parlay with the Braves. Marlins, I think Marlins and the White Sox, Rockies are in this as well, especially when they don't play at home here. Other teams you want to pick against a lot the rest of the season.
Yeah, no, you want to do that more often than not here. Another game coming up in the 7 o'clock hour. This is an interesting one. A late pitching change, too, here. Giants and the Reds. Was supposed to be Harrison, but I'm seeing Snell now here. Are you seeing that as well there, Kurtz, in this spot?
Yes, I am. I don't know if anything happened to Harrison, or I don't know the reason why, but they did make a change there. And we all know Snell was great last time, right? 15 strikeouts. He was just fantastic. Didn't get traded, obviously, here, but you're pitching in Cincinnati. Cincinnati, they're that helter-skelter team, Joe. I don't know what they're going to do from game to game. All right, San Fran doesn't seem to have much of an offense anymore. They didn't have an offense anyway. You traded Soler back to the Braves. Now they have no offense here. That being said, boy, I want to hit that under 9, but it is Cincinnati. I'm still going to sprinkle on the under 9 here, so that's worth. I didn't touch the game itself. Right? I don't trust either team. I don't trust San Fran to hit. I don't trust Cincinnati to hit, pitch, field, anything. I just don't know what I'm going to get from the Reds. And this is a team I have a ticket on to win that division. That's not happening.
Abbott is a gas can waiting to explode, and the Giants hit lefties better than anything else. So, yeah, with him on the mound, I'll lay the short number. Kurtz, always a pleasure, my man. Enjoy those games tonight. Game Time Decisions continues here on the grid. That's
recently, I feel like I'm not doing anything wrong. I'm not making bad swings. I don't feel like I'm making terrible decisions, and just had got a little bit of a streak of bad luck on par fives. Didn't birdie any of them at the Open, didn't birdie any of them today. It's just, and I didn't feel like I did anything terribly wrong, right? But that's just golf. It happens. What's done is done, and this week is the most important week of the year right now.
If he lands it pin high, he's going to be off over the pin position and leave himself a tough putt there. That should bite now. He didn't like it by the looks of it, but he'll love it when he sees it.
Just get this before that bunker. Put himself in a good position.
Just a tiny little baby fade, ideally placed.
To tie the lead at 16. Playing well, isn't he, John Rahm?
And OMG, what a championship Sunday we just witnessed.
Win, right? Selfishly, you always want to get that done, but you don't want to see a teammate and a good friend, missing a putt for that happening for me.
The Live Golf League delivers every single event, doesn't it? I mean, what an incredible finish there. You know what, Tyrrell Hatton, I feel for him. He's been playing beautiful golf. In fact, since Miami, he's been the best player in our league based on the strokes gained metric.
I'm really happy that I had my first Live Golf win. Now that Kelly and the kids are watching, just knowing that I'm bringing the trophy home for them, it feels good to say that it's coming home.
Decisions here on the SportsGrid Network. Happy Friday to you. Certainly hope it's been a profitable week for you here thus far. If not, we got plenty of Major League Baseball to throw your way here tonight as teams continue to make that playoff push here. You got to love August here and the opportunity. We got to have football every week from here on out. College football will be here in just 3 weeks. And then, of course, there will be some postseason baseball, and really, to this point, it feels like it could be anybody's championship to have. But first, you got to be in it to win it. And we got a few more games here we want to run down for you. We'll welcome back in the Schwell guy himself, Mr. George Kurtz, for one more segment. Just because by popular demand, George, you're not bleeding. And the people want more of what you have to say here. So let's go. Let's start with the Houston Astros and the Tampa Bay Rays. And I wanted to start with that because Houston and their newest acquisition, that would be Kikuchi on the mound here tonight, taking on Shane Baz and the Rays, who completely punted on the season at the trade deadline. But I like Shane Baz. I like him a lot. I don't know that I like him on the road in Houston at Minute Maid Park, but Kikuchi's a train wreck. I don't get it. But there could be some runs in this game, Kurtz, and that's kind of where I'm leaning with the Houston team total up and over here in this one.
Yeah, there's a reason why when I said the teams I'm going to bet against a lot this the rest of the season, what was it, the White Sox, the Rockies, and the Marlins. I was thinking about putting the Rays in there, but they do have some good pitching. All right, and they still have some bats, right? They didn't trade everybody. Brandon Lowe, Yandy Diaz are still there, Josh Blow. So this is not a team that's desolate. I like Shane Baz. Now, I like him a lot once I think he gets a little bit more starts under his belt. I like him a lot next year. I don't know if he's going to be that pitcher this year. I'm not laying the 156 with Kikuchi in Houston. I'm not. Kikuchi's a guy, he throws hard, Joe. He throws 96, 97, but it's straight. It's straight. So once they time it, they will hit it. You know, he might get his strikeouts here. I don't know how deep he'll go into the game here. If anything, I would think about taking the Rays in the plus 132, but I'm with you on the over. I think we're going to get more than 7.5 runs in this game. I said the Rays are not the Marlins. They will score some runs here.
So, yeah, and they will. And that's kind of what I'm thinking here. Kikuchi, he has that one inning, usually early on, that kind of buries his team, and that's what he was doing in Toronto. I don't know if that'll change here tonight, but I know Houston is looking forward and hoping he's a changed pitcher here. Also hoping for change is Bruce Bochy and the Texas Rangers, because you want to talk about a team, Kurtz, I can't figure out in any way, shape, or form. They got crushed. What was that game? A 10-1 game against the Cardinals not too long ago. Was not good here. And this team should hit better than they are. And it's not because of injuries. They don't have that's the big thing with me with Texas is what's the excuse? Now, granted, you don't have Scherzer, you don't have DeGrom, you didn't have them early, maybe the pitching. I could wrap my head around that. But what's your excuse for not being able to hit? And now you got a Red Sox team in who has proven that, well, they can hit, certainly. I don't know what to do with the Texas Rangers. I would, at this price, no doubt, a year ago, have been all over the Rangers. But I don't know what we're going to get tonight besides runs, right?
Everything you said is true. I can't tell you what. The only injury they have right now is Evan Carter, right? He's got the bad back, so he's out for the season here. Other than that, Dallas Garcia, Semien, Seager, Langford, these guys are all in the lineup. Heim, Lowe, they're all there, but they're not. It seems like they get one guy who hits a game, but they can't string it together with a couple of guys to score a bunch of runs here. But there's nothing wrong with this offense theoretically. They just need to hit. They got crushed, I think, on Tuesday and Wednesday by the Cardinals. You know, they put them 4.5 games back to the wild card, I believe. I forget which one it is, but they need to hit. Their pitching has been solid here. The Red Sox can hit. They can't pitch. You know, especially once you get into that bullpen, which is just a complete dumpster fire. I'm on the Sox. You know, I can't take the Rangers. If you don't want to take the Sox, fine, and leave the game alone. I can't take the Rangers because they're just too inconsistent. I don't know what they're going to do tonight. They might show up. They might not. You know, maybe they do beat the Red Sox here, but I know the Red Sox can hit here. So maybe you want to take the Red Sox team total over. That might be a way to attack this as well.
Yeah, Carter Crawford got beat up by the Yankees last time out in that 11-8 game. I think that was last Saturday, 5 runs, 8 hits. He did give up 3 home runs, which, listen, Texas is more than capable of doing that as well. The question is, will we get it? Side note here from Boston, Kenley Jansen pitched last night, but apparently pinched something in his lower back. So I don't know whether or not he's going to be available for Boston if this game is close, but let's just expect runs, and more runs. I am hoping for a lot of runs in this next game, Kurtz, because I took out a second mortgage and backed the Mets here tonight. Why? Because of Anderson being on the mound. And I have been waiting to fade him and because he is the most overvalued pitcher in Major League Baseball who has overperformed like I've never seen before. Blackburn, the new pitcher acquired from Oakland by the Mets on the mound, and he stinks. Let's be realistic. He's atrocious. But it's really not going to matter because he's playing the Angels and he knows the Angels. But if the Mets can't crush Anderson, I don't know what to do. It's my last shot to make back all the money I lost fading him all year. I think this is the spot here tonight with the Mets, who happen to crush lefties here. What are you thinking in this one?
Yeah, so my bugaboo seems to be Kyle Hendricks, who I believe I lost again on the other night, and yours is Tyler Anderson. We all have that guy or that team that just kills us here. I agree with everything you said. I think Tyler Anderson is immensely overrated here. And as a Yankee fan, I was like, oh, this is the star they're going to end up with. Are they going to get Tyler Anderson? You know, but maybe the fact that he wasn't traded lets you know that a lot of teams figure out, a lot of GMs thought the same thing we think. He's not that good. He's not that good. I don't trust Blackburn either. You know, the over-under is 9.5. Ball doesn't travel at night. And at Angel Stadium there, the cool marine air really knocks it down there. So I couldn't pull a trigger on the over, so I did take the Mets. It is the first game of their West Coast trip. And so it concerns me somewhat, but the Angels are bad. All right, they're just bad. Yeah. All right, just avoid Ward, O'Hop, maybe Nito. They don't have a bullpen. The Mets should be able to take care of business here. They've been playing well. I know they lost the other day. They're not going to win every game. Severino had an off night here. Blackburn, I'm curious. Can he just give them innings? I think it's all the Mets really hoping for. Innings keep us in the game. Quality. What's the definition of a quality start in today's game? They would take that run. Give me the Mets tonight.
I don't even care if he doesn't, because the Mets bullpen is fully rested. There's zero excuse to lose this game. Zero excuse. If you are in a wild card chase like the Mets are, this is a game you have to win. And I think I'm with you. I think they will win. I think they'll win it rather easily here when it's all said and done. And wait until the Angels bullpen gets involved. That should be fun. The late night games, nobody is really interested in the Rockies or the Athletics. So let's go to the late game with the Phillies and the Mariners. Two teams who absolutely can't hit. Brian, on the mound for the Mariners here, taking on Phillips for the Phillies, who actually was pretty impressive his last go out here. Is this a dead under, or what am I missing here?
Seattle's always an under. All right, I think Brian will keep Philadelphia in check. You know, he's been pretty solid. He may not be he may not be Castillo or Kirby or Gilbert, but I think he'll keep them in check. You know, so yes, Seattle's like a blind under to me. Am I going to lose every now and then? Sure, but Philly's not hitting either. All right, they're struggling right now. They're going through. If we were a little deeper into August, I'd say the dog days of August. Not quite there yet, but they're having a little lull in the season right now. So I think once again under here. As far as the game is concerned, I ain't touching it. All right, listen, I think it's once again 3-2, 4-3 game here. Somebody will win by one. I'll leave it alone.
Yeah, it's. I wouldn't mind maybe a Philadelphia team total under here. George, I'd love to say goodbye, but I'm not entirely sure you won't be back again for another segment. So come back and find out. It's potluck here on Game Time Decisions here on the SportsGrid Network.
Recently, I feel like I'm not doing anything wrong. I'm not making bad swings. I don't feel like I'm making terrible decisions, and just had got a little bit of a streak of bad luck on par fives. Didn't birdie any of them at the Open, didn't birdie any of them today. It's just, and I didn't feel like I did anything terribly wrong, right? But that's just golf. It happens. What's done is done, and this week is the most important week of the year right now.
If he lands it pin high, he's going to be off over the pin position and leave himself a tough putt there. That should bite now. He didn't like it by the looks of it, but he'll love it when he sees it.
Just get this before that bunker. Put himself in a good position.
Just a tiny little baby fade, ideally placed.
To tie the lead at 16. Playing well, isn't he, John Rahm?
And OMG, what a championship Sunday we just witnessed.
Win, right? Selfishly, you always want to get that done, but you don't want to see a teammate and a good friend, missing a putt for that happening for me.
The Live Golf League delivers every single event, doesn't it? I mean, what an incredible finish there. You know what, Tyrrell Hatton, I feel for him. He's been playing beautiful golf. In fact, since Miami, he's been the best player in our league based on the strokes gained metric.
I'm really happy that I had my first Live Golf win. Now that Kelly and the kids are watching, just knowing that I'm bringing the trophy home for them, it feels good to say that it's coming home.
Welcome back in Game Time Decisions here on this Friday now, August the 2nd. I'm Joe Raineri. Appreciate you stopping by. Crazy play to start the Pittsburgh game against Arizona. Corbin Carroll up at the plate, leading off, hits one down the right field line. It bounces into the corner, makes it out to be a triple, and then Pittsburgh throws the ball away at third base, and he runs home. So I'm assuming it's a triple with a one-base error, which allowed him to score, and it's 1-0. And buckle up. This should be a fun game. Also, very fun. Cam Stewart in the house, ready to roll here tonight. And Cam, I got to ask you, before we get to, I want to get some of your thoughts on your favorite team there, the Seattle Seahawks, because we just got some news today on that. But talk to me about the golf, the Olympic golf here, man. Is it me, or these next 36 holes should be absolutely amazing coming up here in the Olympics?
Big time ground because there's so many good players, Joe. But I'm going to tell you, man, I like where I stand in this tournament right now. We have Fleetwood for top 10s. We got Tom Kim outright. I think my boy Aberg's a bit too far back, but take a look at this too. And give Brady credit. I have him for a top 10 and 20. This guy has him outright, and so does Carver. Thomas Dietrich, the tricky Belgian, 8 under too. Remember CT Penn? He won a bronze medal. People don't even remember that. This guy's in the mix. Like, that's a great leaderboard. And Scheffler, 5 shots is nothing for him. He's just lingering like a bad odor, Joe. Joe, 5 shots for him. He can go low one day, and then the party's on. So great golf tournament so far. And we have the ladies next week. Joe, I came packing today. I got baseball, golf, and I already have picks for the ladies, but I'll save those in my bag for next week. I've already put some 4 futures in for the women's Olympics there, and I'm big on the Swedes on the ladies' side.
Ooh, I like that. Yeah, and the one guy on that board that scares me because I think he's figured it out is John Rahm.
Yes.
And that's going to be very interesting to see how that works there. He seems to be very, very comfortable here, sitting just off the lead here. All right, your Seattle Seahawks. What the hell happened to Geno Smith? All of a sudden, he got banged up at I don't know, how does a quarterback get banged up at practice here? But next thing you know, they're saying, yeah, it's not. We're not going to have Geno here for a little while. Nothing serious, but we're not going to have him available for a little while. That's unfortunate here. So what's next, Sam Howell? Like, what are we looking at with Seattle here?
We're looking at Sam Howell, but Geno Smith, apparently things went really, really well, Joe, so he's going to be fine. Apparently in Seattle camp, I read all the newsletters and stuff. They say he looks absolutely fantastic, improving. I just have some worries though, but this is one of these teams that win total 7.5. I kind of thought about it. I'm like, they can win some of these games. Like I'm looking at this team going, you got Kenneth Walker III as your running back. You want to pound it. You got a defensive-minded coach coming over from Baltimore, and they got a staff. Listen, Pete Carroll was a great guy, but he was a raw guy. We got now guys that are X's and O guys, right, Joe? So, and that defense, the secondary, these guys really underachieved. Like Woolen and all the guys that were great in their rookie years were struggling. But that kid out of Illinois, man, I'll tell you, Weatherspoon, he's amazing, Joe. Like, he's one of the best in the league. If he stays healthy, everything is going to be fine. The offensive line is a little bit better. Problem is, you got to deal with San Francisco, and a lot of other people really love the Rams this year. I'm not totally buying in, but a lot of people I respect love the Rams.
Yeah, it's interesting, too, because the other thing out of camp, out of the 49ers, is Brock Purdy can't figure out who to throw to because apparently all he's doing is throwing interceptions, and everyone is going crazy. Like, settle down. He'll be fine. It's a system. He'll be good to go. What did you make of the are you automatically fading the whole Justin Herbert and the Chargers thing? It feels like it's right? You're going to you're staying put?
I am staying put. Never talk, lingering injury. Well, that's part of the game. He's going to be okay. I really like the Harbaugh factor, Joe. I'll go tell you one thing. The attention to detail is going to be huge. I like the Chargers this year. I think they're actually going to go over their win total. I'm not going to get scared off with the injury news. Herbert's going to tough it out. They got a whole new attitude on that team. And the Chargers, what were they known for? Being the flakiest team in the league. That they're going to be the team that, comes back when they're down instead of blowing leads and screwing up games at the end. I think Harbaugh is going to make a huge difference. I love them to make the playoffs at plus 112 on our board right here. Not sure they can win the AFC West, but I think they're going to win more than 8.5 games, Joe. Apparently some books now, they have 9.5 plus money to the over, but I wouldn't screw around with that. That's a little bit crazy. Just give me 8.5 and I'll deal with the juice. I got some other plays for you, Joe. CFL football tonight. Hamilton Tiger Cats plus 4 over 49.5 in the game. Also a 7-point teaser with the Ticats. They're going for their third in a row. This team was winless. Now they're playing good football. Montreal's quarterback, third stringer Alexander, his first trip on the road. We'll see how he does there. So that's interesting to me. Also, Vladimir Guerrero, 2 bases or more, plus 135. Toronto, New York Yankees, over 9. I like Baltimore, minus 115. And 2 pooches for you, Joe. Down, boy. Colorado by pooch of the night at plus 165. And the Jays, plus 145. We're digging. Strikeouts, Reagan's over 6.5. Scooble over 6.5. Abbott, under 5.5. Kikuchi, 5 or more Ks with an Astros win, minus 110.
The Arizona Diamondbacks have just gone back-to-back-to-back home runs. It's now 4-0 against Pittsburgh. So that would be, in my estimation, a triple error run and 3 solo home runs in a row. Great start for Ortiz and the Pittsburgh Pirates here. I'll tell you this, though, Cam. Easton Stick was just re-signed, so if Harbaugh didn't like him, I'm just going to say, if Harbaugh did not like him, if this coaching staff thought he was a chump, they never would have re-signed him. There's got to be something there that Harbaugh likes in order to keep this kid around here in case something happened to Herbert. So I think that vote of confidence alone, I'm with you. There's no reason to run scared from the Chargers here tonight. Cam, appreciate it there, brother. You'll be back, of course, later on with Gabe Morency. Gonna be a whole lot of fun. Hopefully, as long as you straighten up, you'll be good to go, my man. Lord, unreal. Game Time Decisions continues on the grid.
Recently, I feel like I'm not doing anything wrong. I'm not making bad swings. I don't feel like I'm making terrible decisions, and just had got a little bit of a streak of bad luck on par 5s. Didn't birdie any of them at the Open, didn't birdie any of them today. It's just, and I didn't feel like I did anything terribly wrong, right? But that's just golf. It happens. What's done is done, and this week is the most important week of the year right now.
If he lands it pin high, he's going to be off over the pin position and leave himself a tough putt there. That should bite now. He didn't like it by the looks of it, but he'll love it when he sees it.
Just get this before that bunker. Put himself in a good position.
Just a tiny little baby fade, ideally placed.
To tie the lead at 16. Playing well, isn't he, John Rahm?
And OMG, what a championship Sunday we just witnessed.
Win, right? Selfishly, you always want to get that done, but you don't want to see a teammate and a good friend missing a putt for that happening for me.
The Live Golf League delivers every single event, doesn't it? I mean, what an incredible finish there. You know what, Tyrrell Hatton, I feel for him. He's been playing beautiful golf. In fact, since Miami, he's been the best player in our league based on the strokes gained metric.
I'm really happy that I had my first Live Golf win. Now that Kelly and the kids are watching, just knowing that I'm bringing the trophy home for them, it feels good to say that it's coming home.
All right, welcome back in here. Game Time Decisions here as we looked around out this first hour together on this Friday, August the 2nd. And I am just absolutely mesmerized about what is going on here in Pittsburgh with the Arizona Diamondbacks, who could not have gotten off to a better start than what we have seen here. And again, if you're just joining us, it's 4-0 in the top of the first inning. Ortiz pitching for Pittsburgh, who has had a couple of great outings, by the way, here. I really like this guy in the rotation, but Corbin Carroll led off with a shot down the first baseline into the corner. It rattled around. He was heading to third. They tried to throw him out of third. They overthrew the third baseman. He walks home. Essentially an inside the park home run, but it was a triple and an error. The next three batters, Marte, Peterson, and Bell, all went yard. The next batter got a single. And they are still batting right now with 2 outs, first and third here. And the number 8 hitter is up. So what a unbelievable start for the Arizona Diamondbacks, up 4-0 right now on Pittsburgh there. Detroit just hit a absolute bomb in the bottom of the first inning off of Cole Reagans and the Kansas City Royals. So they are up 2-0 now in that game. Again, they are still batting in the bottom of the first inning. And we do have no score, by the way, Milwaukee and Washington. And it does look like they just got another run. So it's 5-0 Arizona in the first inning over Pittsburgh. You could not ask for a better start for those of you that might have tickets on the Arizona Diamondbacks here, which actually was at a pretty decent price, all things considered here. So we do have much more baseball coming up here in just a couple of minutes. The 7 o'clock Eastern time starts, getting ready. Yankee Stadium, expecting runs with Stroman taking on Gausman. Yankees, their last, well, let's face it, this 5-game streak of theirs, they are crushing the ball. And Jazz Chisholm, what a welcome to Yankee Stadium. Should be a great welcome for him. And boy, oh boy, if you want to endear yourself to Yankee fans really quick, Jazz, let me tell you what you do. Hit a home run in this game at Yankee Stadium, and I promise you, you will be and you will have the hottest selling jersey in New York Yankees history here this year. So keep it rolling tonight against Gausman. Stroman slowing down. I would anticipate the Blue Jays, who have been playing better baseball since the All-Star break, they should be able to get theirs, but I have no doubt. The last time the Yankees faced Gausman, you may recall, they lit him up for 7 runs. He got whiplash from all the baseballs flying by his head in that last start there. I don't see how any of that is changing in this one. The Orioles and Guardians coming up. The Guardians have absolutely destroyed Baltimore yesterday there. Tonight, Kremer going for Baltimore. Carlos Carrasco, the old guy, still going, though, still cruising. He's out there at home. Listen, the Guardians are the single most profitable team to back at home. There is a home field advantage at Progressive Field for the Guardians. I said this is going to be a very interesting weekend series. I told you guys that yesterday, given the fact that this is very possible a wild card matchup that we're going to get with these two teams. I have no doubt that the Orioles better figure some things out here with the pitching staff. I'm not sure Kremer's a guy that I trust on the road against this Guardians lineup, but they better figure some things out here because the Guardians quietly, and nobody's talking about them, the Guardians quietly could have the best record in the American League when it is all said and done. And the Orioles, with the lack of experience and all those injuries to those starting pitchers, could be a problem. So I can't wait to see if there's a bounce back in the Orioles' future here tonight against Carrasco. But we shall see. The one thing we know, if this thing is close, the bullpen edge goes to the Guardians without a doubt. We've also got Reds, Giants, Braves, and Marlins coming up next hour. And then, of course, plenty more baseball the rest of the way. And we got plenty of Olympic talk coming up for you. We've got big matches here. Women's soccer tomorrow morning. Men's and women's basketball coming up this weekend. A lot to get to. Come back and join us. Game Time Decisions continues here on the Grid.
Recently, I feel like I'm not doing anything wrong. I'm not making bad swings. I don't feel like I'm making terrible decisions, and just had got a little bit of a streak of bad luck on par fives. Didn't birdie any of them at the Open, didn't birdie any of them today. It's just, and I didn't feel like I did anything terribly wrong, right? But that's just golf. It happens. What's done is done, and this week is the most important week of the year right now.
If he lands it pin high, he's going to be off over the pin position and leave himself a tough putt there. That should bite now. He didn't like it by the looks of it, but he'll love it when he sees it.
Just get this before that bunker. Put himself in a good position.
Just a tiny little baby fade, ideally placed.
To tie the lead at 16. Playing well, isn't he, John Rahm?
And OMG, what a championship Sunday we just witnessed.
Win, right? So obviously you always want to get that done, but you don't want to see a teammate and a good friend, missing a putt for that happening for me.
The Live Golf League delivers every single event, doesn't it? I mean, what an incredible finish there. You know what, Tyrrell Hatton, I feel for him. He's been playing beautiful golf. In fact, since Miami, he's been the best player in our league based on the strokes gained metric.
I'm really happy that I had my first Live Golf win. Now that Kelly and the kids are watching, just knowing that I'm bringing the trophy home for them, it feels good to say that it's coming home.
All right, welcome back in. Off and running another hour here of Game Time Decisions on this August the 2nd. It is Friday. I'm Joe Raineri. Appreciate you stopping by here as we're getting ready for a absolutely loaded slate in Major League Baseball tonight. We got plenty of Olympic action this weekend. Should be a lot of fun. And, of course, we're getting ready for more football, as the Hall of Fame game last night kicked off. And listen, I know there was no starters and most everyone on that field nobody's ever heard of. But the reality is it was pretty fun watching football last night on a Thursday to get back in the swing of things. And I am sure our good friend Adam Kaufman was cozied up there watching the new kickoffs, loving it, trying to figure out what the hell am I watching right now, and watching guys like Brett. Where the hell has that been, Brett Rippon? Not for nothing, but like, my goodness, unbelievable. Do you think what we saw last night, no running, a lot of, dropping back, throwing the ball all over the yard, could this be a sign of things to come this preseason? Maybe overs is the way we should be looking?
All right, well, a couple of things. First of all, and, I was debating, like, what am I going to do later after I do in-game live primetime coming up after this with Sharapan? Should I go see a movie, long legs, psychological thriller? After watching Cam Stewart on with you, though, and just the bloody mess that was, I don't think I need to see anything gory or gruesome or thrilling because I've seen it all right here on SportsGrid. So there's that. The football game last night, which Sharapan and I were on during and watching that thing, there were no winners. Other than us as fans and the fact that football in some form returned, there were no winners. Quite literally, if you bet on the game, you didn't win even if you won. And what I mean by that, I continue to be bothered by this. You talk about the points and should we expect more overs? We were on emphatically the over in that game last night going into it when Dave and I were talking about it, because 30.5, 31.5, 32.5, wherever you got it, it was just too low based upon, I think the key number in preseason games over the last X number of years is like 37. That's kind of the swing number. When you get a number that's right around 30, my God, hit the over unless you have just a circus of ineptitude. You knew you were going to get points in this game, and that's where I have a problem. I understand, and I'm sure you guys have talked about this, the whole a football game isn't official unless you play 55
Right.
minutes, and therefore the books refund everything. They void it all out. That's all well and good if you were on the Houston money line like I was. Not as great if you're on the Bears money line, but the total was decided. The total was done.
Mhm.
It had already surpassed any number you could have bought it at, unless you decided to get really degenerate and go up to some sort of an alternate number or something like that. You had already cleared. If you were on the under, you lost. If you were on the over, you won. The total should not have been refunded last night. So I've been sort of stewing, thinking about that. And of course we have controversy in the very first football game of the year of the hundreds that are in front of us here. But anyway, I think we're going to see points this year. And I think that's good. I think that's what the league wants, obviously, which is why you continue to see these series of rule changes that go back to the Peyton Manning, Tom Brady days, where they decided to change the rules that you couldn't hit the quarterback anymore. That's because obviously they want yards, they want touchdowns, they want movement downfield, they want everything to be tougher on the defense. With respect to these kickoff changes now, they are going to want shorter field position. They're going to want, obviously long sustained drives. That's the goal. I mean, nobody wants to see these lower scoring games that, teams like my Patriots are probably going to be playing in. They want the games that are going to be producing 50 some odd points on a weekly basis. And so last night, even though we had very few players out there that, we would expect to see in meaningful regular season games, it being the Hall of Fame game and all, I think it to some degree was a sign of things to come. Yeah.
I don't know. I haven't figured it out, and only time will tell. All right, if you don't return the punt in the end zone, you go to the 30 instead of the 25, right? So there's these little changes. Will there be a better starting field? I don't know if any of this, when it's all said and done at the end of the day, is going to move the needle in points. Do you think 5 yards here or there is really going to change what we're going to get for totals this season? I mean, we'll know probably by week 18 whether or not this was all just a whole lot of nothing, or if this really does move the needles. And what do the books do? What do the books think is going to happen?
Yeah, I'm inclined to say it's not going to impact things too dramatically, at least from the onset, right? I mean, the books are always adjusting throughout the year to anything that, they want to swing more in their favor, obviously, or make it a more efficient line to get people betting both sides of it. And so if they feel like in the first couple of weeks, oh my God, we're just seeing over, yeah, you're going to see totals rise. If there's not a whole lot of movement based on what it does historically, then no, probably not going to adjust all that much. It's just, this is another one of those things. And they've been talking about these kickoff rule changes for a couple of years now. Well, all right, now it's happened. Now it's been implemented. We're going to get a look at it here in the preseason, but we won't really know until the regular season gets going what the impact is going to be. I don't personally, just attempting to forecast this thing, think it's going to move all that much. I don't.
I don't. It's not going to change the way we handicap these games initially, unless something dramatic happens. And like anything else, I think it will help some teams, and it'll be a detriment to some others. But I'll tell you this. Now, all of a sudden, should be a very big emphasis, if it wasn't already with clubs, on special teams. You better get the right guy in there who can at least figure out a way to take advantage and utilize these new rules. And by the way, Belichick is not in the league anymore here, guys. But, as somebody like that who will figure out a way to use it to their advantage here, it should be fun because we get football every Thursday from here on out. Should be good to go here. Tonight, Major League Baseball, plenty of action. I want to ask you about your Red Sox. Big series against the Rangers. It feels like an over tonight, but and the only reason I'm skeptical of it is not because of your Red Sox, it's because of the Rangers. Can you trust them to score enough runs here?
No, it's a good question. The public is on the over 9 by a pretty considerable margin if you look at the splits, to whatever degree you want to believe the splits. I know that some people out there are kind of skeptical as to how meaningful those really are, how indicative of what the betting public is actually doing that they are. But that being said, I think I look at 9, I look at these two teams, and on the one hand, you have a Rangers team that, as you said, struggles to score, but on the other, you have a Red Sox team that, especially the bullpen, tends to allow runs. So I don't know what kind of start we're going to get out of Cutter Crawford. Obviously, if he goes 6-7 innings, that is going to minimize the amount that the bullpen is going to be out there. But if the Rangers do get to him a little bit early, even if that doesn't mean tag him for 4 or 5 runs, but just get the pitch count up a little bit, it is going to shorten his outing, and then you are going to have some of those unreliable arms coming in. I would be inclined, and this is without bias, to go on the Red Sox money line. They are favorites for a reason, ever so slightly, and I would consider pairing that with the over in this one. I think in general, Joe, and we'll see if this comes to fruition, you have some heavy favorites, and I struggle to kind of see where the upsets are, whether it's looking at the Twins are minus 325. My God, don't bother betting that unless you're using it like a George Kurtz parlay piece, maybe even go into the run line or something. But the Braves are heavy favorites. That's another one that I would, be comfortable backing. But even the Padres, the Dodgers, that's another one. I just think not to be all chalky, but I think that the favorites are in a great spot tonight.
And there are I think there are even a little bit of value on the board with a few favorites. One of them being the Mets, for instance, taking on the Angels here tonight. And then, of course, the late game is a pick'em game. We'll talk about those games when we come back here as Game Time Decisions continues on the grid.
Recently, I feel like I'm not doing anything wrong. I'm not making bad swings. I don't feel like I'm making terrible decisions, and just had got a little bit of a streak of bad luck on par fives. Didn't birdie any of them at the Open, didn't birdie any of them today. It's just, and I didn't feel like I did anything terribly wrong, right? But that's just golf. It happens. What's done is done, and this week is the most important week of the year right now.
If he lands it pin high, he's going to be off over the pin position and leave himself a tough putt there. That should bite now. He didn't like it by the looks of it, but he'll love it when he sees it.
Just get this before that bunker. Put himself in a good position.
Just a tiny little baby fade, ideally placed.
To tie the lead at 16. Playing well, isn't he, John Rahm?
And OMG, what a championship Sunday we just witnessed.
Win, right? Selfishly, you always want to get that done, but you don't want to see a teammate and a good friend missing a putt for that happening for me.
The Live Golf League delivers every single event, doesn't it? I mean, what an incredible finish there. You know what, Tyrrell Hatton, I feel for him. He's been playing beautiful golf. In fact, since Miami, he's been the best player in our league based on the strokes gained metric.
I'm really happy that I had my first Live Golf win. Now that Kelly and the kids are watching, just knowing that I'm bringing the trophy home for them, it feels good to say that it's coming home.
All right, welcome back in here. Game Time Decisions on this Friday. It's the Sports Grid Network. I'm Joe Raineri. Appreciate you stopping by as we've got our finger on the pulse of a lot of Major League Baseball underway right now. Keeping in mind, I believe we got a bit of a weather delay happening in the Bronx as the Yankees and Toronto are a bit delayed. We'll let you know how that goes. Baltimore and Cleveland off and running. And we've got a 2-1 Detroit lead over Kansas City. And the Milwaukee Brewers have just dropped a 3 spot on the Washington Nationals, top of the second. They're up 3-0 there. those of you that have been following along this week, no doubts, have heard on this show how excited we were about Olympic golf. And nobody, and I mean nobody, knows it better than our good friend Brady Cannon, who has, I believe, 5 or 6 guys here in the top 10 that you had given out on this show before it all started, all very much in contention. A hell of a first 36 holes. It's going to be even better the next 36 here, Brady, simply because there are so many guys within reach here over the next couple of days and big names. I mean, look at this board. Unbelievable. And of course, the guy at the bottom there, he's 5 shots out. That's not, and 5 shots out from a medal, from a gold medal, rather. That doesn't mean he can't still finish for a silver or a bronze. I think it's going to be one hell of a weekend here, Brady.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like we've got a little bit of a birdie fest on our hands, Joe. And, the odds makers were not expecting that. The winning score at the Westgate Superbook here in Las Vegas before they teed off on Thursday was 13.5 under par. I think that is going to be shattered as they are already at 11 under par, just halfway through. But you're right. We do have a lot of our guys in the mix. I'm thrilled about that. We're on Tommy Fleetwood for gold. We're on John Rahm for gold. We're on Thomas Dietrich for gold, who's looking good. The one guy that slipped off a little bit off the pace on our card is Joaquin Niemann. I think he shot just 1 under par today, and you're not going to keep up with the guys at 1 under par. You've got to go, 3, 4, 5, 6. I mean, Thomas Dietrich shot 8 under par today. You hope that can hold up. He gained strokes in every category across the board today to get to that 8 under, get himself back into the tournament. You know how that goes. Oftentimes, that's followed up by a relatively pedestrian round. We're hoping that's not the case for Dietrich, who has a ton of experience at this course and a lot of success. Xander Schauffele was not quite as sharp today as he was, despite, the good shot. He fell off a bit in round 2, losing strokes off the tee and wasn't quite as sharp with the putter. Overall, he is still gaining strokes against the field in every category. And then we talked about it yesterday on the show, Joe. John Rahm really was not getting it done with his irons on Thursday, but absolutely turned the corner with his irons on Friday. Number 3 in the field in round 2 for strokes gained approach. He is number 1 in the field now for strokes gained tee to green, and still losing about 1/3 of a stroke to the field with his putter. I kind of like that for our position, rooting for John Rahm to win this thing and cash our gold medal ticket. If he's doing everything else well and is only a couple shots out of the lead, and we just need that putter to turn to the positive a little bit, I like that situation. It should turn.
That one of those
well. Yeah. If he hadn't hold those, because the short putts that he should be making, he can't make a thing. He is still losing 2.5, 3 strokes to the field with the putter, and yet he's still making a couple of those bombs. So, I mean, outside of a couple bombs, the guy has made nothing on the greens. And, I can't say we predicted this. I just didn't expect Scheffler to be that dialed in here. And he really hasn't been. I mean, this looks like the Scotty Putter version of 2023 summer, when he just was absolutely awful. The putter has gotten better. I mean, obviously he's won the Masters. He's won 6 tournaments this year. But the putter looks really bad for Scheffler, and the putter looking smoking hot for Hideki Matsuyama. If you look at what he's done, it remained hot. One of the best putters in the field in round 2, but lost strokes to the field in round 2 in 3 different categories: around the greens, approach, and tee to green. That's not a good situation if you're backing Hideki Matsuyama here, because typically a guy cannot just lean on the putter and the putter only for 4 days. You got to have that entire game working. And right now it's all about the putter and scrambling for Hideki Matsuyama.
Yeah, I mean, Scotty Scheffler, by the way, 10-1 right now, 36 holes left. I don't ever remember a time we could get Scotty Scheffler.
You ought to be 25-1.
I mean, it's kind of crazy that he's even that number here. But you got to feel comfortable that one of those four guys at the top, that's going to be your gold winner. Is that? And I do think we're going to get extra golf. What do you think?
Yeah, we're going to get it at some point, whether it's for the gold, the silver, or the bronze. Yeah, I mean, how could you go the top three without a tie? That seems almost impossible. I would agree with you. Matsuyama, Schauffele, Fleetwood, Rahm, maybe you throw Tom Kim in there who gets hot down the stretch. But boy, I tell you, man, it's tough to go against Schauffele right now. I'm rooting for Fleetwood and Rahm, but I'm scared of Mr. Schauffele.
Well, he's a gold medal winner for a reason here. It should be a hell of a 36-hole weekend here. Looking forward to it. Brady Cannon, we'll see you a little bit later on here, and of course all weekend long, and Game Time Decisions will continue on the grid.
Recently, I feel like I'm not doing anything wrong. I'm not making bad swings. I don't feel like I'm making terrible decisions, and just had got a little bit of a streak of bad luck on par fives. Didn't birdie any of them at the Open, didn't birdie any of them today. It's just, and I didn't feel like I did anything terribly wrong, right? But that's just golf. It happens. What's done is done, and this week is the most important week of the year right now.
If he lands it pin high, he's going to be off over the pin position and leave himself a tough putt there. That should bite now. He didn't like it by the looks of it, but he'll love it when he sees it.
Just get this before that bunker. Put himself in a good position.
Just a tiny little baby fade, ideally placed.
To tie the lead at 16. Playing well, isn't he, John Rahm?
And OMG, what a championship Sunday we just witnessed.
Win, right? Selfishly, you always want to get that done, but you don't want to see a teammate and a good friend, missing a putt for that happening for me.
The Live Golf League delivers every single event, doesn't it? I mean, what an incredible finish there. You know what, Tyrrell Hatton, I feel for him. He's been playing beautiful golf. In fact, since Miami, he's been the best player in our league based on the strokes gained metric.
I'm really happy that I had my first Live Golf win. Now that Kelly and the kids were...
You guys all right there or what? Yeah, you all right? Welcome back in here. Game Time Decisions on the SportsGrid Network. I'm Joe Raineri. Quick look at the scoreboard right now in Major League Baseball. And we've got a handful of games in a weather delay right now that should have started. Yankees and Toronto, that game is on pause right now as it is raining pretty hard at the stadium. Gausman and Stroman scheduled for that one. Also raining in Cincinnati. Blake Snell for the Giants on the road, getting ready to take on Andrew Abbott and the Reds, but that too is going to have to wait. They are delayed in that one. The Marlins and the Braves, however, off and running, top of the first there, nothing. The Guardians and the Orioles, keeping an eye on this game here tonight at Progressive. Carrasco going up against Kremer of the Orioles. We got no score in that one already. In the top of the second, we watched the Brewers put up a quick 3-spot here, top of the third over the Nats, and a good one. The Tigers scored 2 on a home run in the bottom of the first. The Royals answered with a Salvatore Perez solo shot in the second, and that is where we remain. Tigers 2-1 right now over the Royals with Reagan's on the mound. So we'll keep you posted as soon as we know more regarding the first or the start time when it comes to the Yankees and Toronto, as well as the Giants and the Reds. In some Olympic news, it's going to be a huge weekend in the Olympics here. We've got tomorrow morning, I believe, 9 a.m. Eastern time, we'll have the women's soccer knockout rounds here as Team USA will be taking on their old foe, Japan. That should be absolutely phenomenal because there are no two nations who are more familiar with each other in women's soccer on the highest of high level than these two countries here. But USA, a big favorite there at minus 350 and well deserved here. I do think Team USA will advance and have an opportunity once again to take gold. And speaking of gold, coming up this weekend, I feel like we've just seen this in tennis. And it doesn't get any better than this. You have got Novak Djokovic in his first berth in an Olympics tennis final. He got it done today, advancing after beating Musetti of Italy 6-4, 6-2, winning the last four games. And he is ecstatic. I don't know why he's ecstatic, because he's taken the guy to just beat the snot out of him in Wimbledon, and that being Carlos Alcaraz, the 21-year-old future of tennis. And that is exactly what he was, or what he is, rather. And he was even more dominant with his battle earlier today here, beating Felix Alisame of Canada, 6-1, 6-1. Both of these guys, obviously, 121, 137, if you can believe that. I mean, it's going to be epic. Did he learn anything from Wimbledon? Is there anything that we might expect differently in this? And you saw the numbers up there. The market is telling you no. Alcaraz at minus 235, Novak at plus 190. Keep in mind, this is a guy that already owns the record, the men's record, 24 Grand Slam titles, more weeks at number one in the rankings than anyone in tennis history. But yet, the one thing that he does not have is a gold medal in the Olympics. And boy, oh boy, is he itching for it. He said, this is the coolest thing, and this matters. Boy, oh boy, you don't get a whole lot of 37-year-olds in the Olympics and an opportunity to take home gold. But that's exactly what we've got here. So he is 0-3 in Olympic semifinals. We'll see if he can turn that around and get it done. Never a gold, just a bronze in the 2008 Beijing Games. It's going to be a heck of a weekend in the Olympics. We'll have more on it next here on Game Time Decisions.
Recently, I feel like I'm not doing anything wrong. I'm not making bad swings. I don't feel like I'm making terrible decisions, and just had got a little bit of a streak of bad luck on par fives. Didn't birdie any of them at the Open, didn't birdie any of them today. It's just, and I didn't feel like I did anything terribly wrong, right? But that's just golf. It happens. What's done is done, and this week is the most important week of the year right now.
If he lands it pin high, he's going to be off over the pin position and leave himself a tough putt there. That should bite now. He didn't like it by the looks of it, but he'll love it when he sees it.
Just got this before that bunker. Put himself in a good position.
Just a tiny little baby fade, ideally placed.
To tie the lead at 16. Playing well, isn't he, John Rahm?
And OMG, what a championship Sunday we just witnessed.
Win, right? Selfishly, you always want to get that done, but you don't want to see a teammate and a good friend, missing a putt for that happening for me.
The Live Golf League delivers every single event, doesn't it? I mean, what an incredible finish there. You know what, Tyrrell Hatton, I feel for him. He's been playing beautiful golf. In fact, since Miami, he's been the best player in our league based on the strokes gained metric.
I'm really happy that I had my first Live Golf win. Now that Kelly and the kids are watching, just knowing that I'm bringing the trophy home for them, it feels good to say that it's coming home.
All right, welcome back in here. Game Time Decisions here on the Sports Grid Network. I'm Joe Raineri. Appreciate you stopping by on this Friday here as we've got a big slate of games on the Diamond tonight. And we did just get another run in the Royals and Tigers game. It's now 2-2 with Skubal and Reagans going at it, and the Royals red hot over this last couple of weeks, and so is Bobby Witt Jr., who is clearly worth every dollar the Royals locked him up with before the season started. I know there were a lot of people questioning, like, what are you doing here? With why are we locking this kid up? This is a kid that you absolutely build a franchise around, and the Royals recognized the value of locking him up now as opposed to next season after he's, hit 350 and is going to be your batting champ and, quite honestly, in the running for MVP. So kudos to the Royals for recognizing it. The kid has been absolutely on fire. And Tariq Skubal also in a little bit of trouble here, as it looks like they just scored another run off of Skubal. It's now 3-2 Royals there in the top of the fourth inning. Still 5-0 Diamondbacks over the Pirates after what was a absolute crazy beginning to this game, with the Diamondbacks scoring on the first four batters of the Diamondbacks, all scored three of them via solo home run, one on a triple and a throwing error, which allowed them to come home. That was Corbin Carroll. And that's how the game started. Not great start for the Pirates, so they are trailing now 5-0. Orioles on the board against Carrasco here. Looks like a 1-0 game there. Rain delay, weather delay, Yankee Stadium. Still waiting for a start time with Yankees and Blue Jays. Same thing at the Great American Ballpark there with the Reds and the Giants. And don't look now. The Marlins have taken the lead 2-0 over the Braves. 2 runs in the top of the first, got right after Schellenbach, and they scored a couple of runs. The Braves are now up in the bottom of the first inning. Plenty of action coming up a little bit later here tonight, including the Red Sox and the Rangers. Crawford versus Jose Urena there. Feels like it should be an over game. You hope it's an over game, but you also got to hope that the Rangers can score, which they have not done a great job of as of late, actually all season long. The Twins are a monster favorite, a $3 favorite over the White Sox. As much as I love Joe Ryan and I like the Twins, there is no way I am laying $3 with the Minnesota Twins in any capacity, and there is no way I am laying or using the Twins in any sort of parlay because that is also not worth it. As you can see, 320 there, total 8.5. Listen, if you want to back this, back the Twins team total over. That's the way to look at this game here. Give themselves an opportunity. I think even the run line number was a little high there at the in laying the 1.5. I would look at the Twins. I'd look at their team total, and I would go over on that. Kikuchi on the mound, his first start in an Astros uniform. Astro fans got to be excited. They are hoping also that they can continue the quality play here in a opportunity to win the American League West. And they have an opportunity here tonight at home to beat a Tampa Bay team that's still reeling from the fact that the front office pretty much told everyone, yeah, we don't care. We're not interested in making the playoffs this year. And that's unfortunate. But if we know anything about Kikuchi, he has this history of sometimes not exactly delivering. Just ask Toronto fans. Somebody who knows that, though, would be Dave Sharapan, who's a big Kikuchi fan. I'm shocked he didn't show up in his Kikuchi jersey, but he's not a big Houston Astros fan, so that's the problem. Hence the Seattle jersey on. Do you have if you have a hard time sleeping, Dave? Are you watching Seattle Philadelphia tonight? Because I would imagine if you cure for insomnia, watch any Seattle game at home, and the way the Phillies are hitting right now or not hitting, this is a dead under in that one tonight, is it not?
Correct, sir. Good to see you. Absolutely. These games are fun to watch when you bet the under.
Oh, yes.
They can be. It's usually quick.
Oh, yes.
We get surprised this is 8, to be perfectly honest.
Me
the way
too.
The Phillies are hitting, right? Like this should have been 7.5, and it might have opened 7.5 some places, but I'm with you. This is one. Phillies have lost 4 games in a row for the first time all season. This is when you get them, right? So it's August 2nd, and it's taken this long for them to lose 4 games in a row. This might be one of those ones where they lose 5, 6, 7 in a row. They go from Seattle to the Dodgers to Arizona, right? That's a 10-game road trip that's coming up for the Phillies. It's going to tell us a little bit where they stand, at least going into the rest of the season. So, yeah, I like the woo tonight. I'm all about the woo. The Kikuchi, it seems too easy, right? Like this, you're supposed to play the Astros in the spot. And, I mean, I don't know. It's not even overpriced. I mean, it's almost like, okay, this one around 155, 160 area. And, yeah, the starters going from the same league don't always have the same impact. And I'm sure Tampa has seen him probably this year. So it's not an automatic where you just play it. But, yeah, I wore the Houston stuff. What was that, yesterday? The day before when we were on? Because I had to. Okay. All right. Well, I'm with you, though. I like Houston a little bit there.
Yeah, at home, Houston to me at a reasonable price is always a good bet at home there. And listen, Kikuchi, maybe a new start is exactly what he needed. I mean, Toronto was trash, so that's and they'll continue to be trash, I think, against the Yankees in a rain delay right now. That game is going to take a little while before it gets cleared. Also, Cincinnati and San Francisco in a weather delay. And just to put a bow on that 8, by the way, Tyler Phillips for Philadelphia tonight, he's had 2 road starts and has allowed only 1 run in 10 innings in those road starts. And the Mariners are hitting a big righties at home. The Mariners have a 182 average. Wow. That is crushing the ball, Seattle there. Give me the first 5 under. Give me the full game under. And I don't care in the least bit there. What were you looking at with this Yankee game? Felt like an over. We talked an under. It felt like the Yankees with Stroman and Gausman. Just let's have some fun tonight. And it should be just runs, and more runs.
Yeah, I kind of skipped that game, Joe. I wasn't there was nothing really. I want to take the Blue Jays against Stroman, but then I go, wait, am I taking the Blue Jays against the Yankees right now? Pitching matchup wise, I was like, all right, I want to go with Gausman.
Yep.
I'm leaning over for the game, so I want to take the plus money. I just went, nah. There's nothing. Can't do it. You like Yankees?
No, I like the over. I just think both guys.
The play. That's the play.
Guys are going to get crushed. I don't think Stroman makes it out of the third inning, but Gausman just faced the Yankees a week ago and got lit up for 7 runs. So, and we know that Toronto bullpen cannot be trusted. So I think the team totals and the runs are coming in this one. I can't wait to hear what your thoughts are on how the Pirates started this game against Arizona. It might be the most unbelievable thing I've seen in a long time. We'll get an update in Pittsburgh when we get back here on Game Time Decisions.
Recently, I feel like I'm not doing anything wrong. I'm not making bad swings. I don't feel like I'm making terrible decisions, and just had got a little bit of a streak of bad luck on par fives. Didn't birdie any of them at the Open, didn't birdie any of them today. It's just, and I didn't feel like I did anything terribly wrong, right? But that's just golf. It happens. What's done is done, and this week is the most important week of the year right now.
If he lands it pin high, he's going to be off over the pin position and leave himself a tough putt there. That should bite now. He didn't like it by the looks of it, but he'll love it when he sees it.
Just get this before that bunker. Put himself in a good position.
Just a tiny little baby fade, ideally placed.
To tie the lead at 16. Playing well, isn't he, John Rahm?
And OMG, what a championship Sunday we just witnessed.
Win, right? Selfishly, you always want to get that done, but you don't want to see a teammate and a good friend, missing a putt for that happening for me.
The Live Golf League delivers every single event, doesn't it? I mean, what an incredible finish there. You know what, Tyrrell Hatton, I feel for him. He's been playing beautiful golf. In fact, since Miami, he's been the best player in our league based on the strokes gained metric.
I'm really happy that I had my first Live Golf win. Now that Kelly and the kids are watching, just knowing that I'm bringing the trophy home for them, it feels good to say that it's coming home.
All right, welcome back in here. Game Time Decisions here on this Friday in the SportsGrid Network. Joe Raineri alongside Dave Sherpin. We'll be taking over the top of the hour for a little in-game live prime time here and a huge slate of baseball games tonight. So they will, without a doubt, have you all locked, loaded, and ready to go. I would mention, Dave, earlier, I was when your Pirates started a game against Arizona, which I like Ortiz, the starting pitcher for Pittsburgh. I think he's done a great job for them. Kind of a bullpen guy, but when asked to start games, he's got electric stuff. The problem is that was just the worst start for the Pirates I've ever seen. 3 home runs in the first inning, a triple and an error, which scored another run. Everything seems to have settled down because it's still 5-0 here. But my goodness, it could not have been any worse for your Pirates in the first inning.
It was not a good start, not ideal.
Oh.
And I saw Ortiz. I was just back there, and I saw
you were
him.
there.
He pitched a gem against the Phillies.
Yep.
I mean, stuff was electric. He was getting strikeouts, and there were so many good things working. There were 2 really good defensive plays, and it all built up the momentum. So, yeah, your eyes can give you a different view. Ooh. Listen, it was Marte, Peterson, and Josh Bell. The Josh Bell one hurts even more because I thought Josh Bell was coming back to Pittsburgh at the trade deadline.
So did I.
Sneaky little move by the D-backs to get another bat for the lineup. Those guys are hitting right now, Joe. This is
crushing.
The Diamondbacks just took 2 or 3. down in Arizona last week. And listen, it's a big week for the Pirates. They get the Diamondbacks and Padres at home.
Yeah.
Then they come out west to play the Dodgers, then the Padres on the road. So just like the Phillies have a big road trip coming up, the Pirates have a big stretch of the next 12 games. This isn't the ideal way to start it, despite the fact that they're wearing the City Connects, those bright gold jerseys, and look good. Not feeling good right now. Down 4-0 in the fourth.
Not good. And you're right about Arizona. This feels a lot like what we just saw a year ago with them. They've won 17 of their last 25 games in July. So, and Corbin Carroll is figuring it out. The guy sets the table for this team, and he is absolutely slow start to the season, but he has absolutely been on fire. And like you said, some of these additions, and they are red hot right now. So another team out of the National League West we need to keep an eye on. We got a couple of more games coming up here. We'll get your thoughts on, but you were there last night for the opening kickoff of the Hall of Fame game, which was not to be ultimately. If you had an over ticket, you had to be celebrating at half going, that's got to be if all the money this NFL season is as easy as this, you're going to be in good shape. The only problem was nobody got to cash that ticket, Dave, and it only seems to happen in this game for some reason.
It's unbelievable, right? First game of the season, all the handle on a slow night in Major League Baseball. Olympic action was a lot of events, but maybe not a lot of bettable events. The bettable events in the basketball and the golf and everything were done. So I think it had a lot of people's focus, got a lot of action, had a lot of offense, and then got a lot of rain and lightning and paused. Now, traditional Las Vegas sportsbook rules, since I've been here, a couple decades now, 55 minutes game has to be played to be official. Oof. Now, there's other books, FanDuel being one of them, Fanatics being another one that I know of, that have changed the house rules to say that unless unequivocally decided, whatever that means, meaning the game was already over 31.5, over 32.5, whatever number it was. So they put in the final score for the total. They grade the total. They don't grade the side. The sides are all refunds.
Right.
And a lot of the prop bets are not graded, but if a guy scores a touchdown, apparently that's graded and counts. So a little bit different, Joe, than automatic, like out in Vegas. It's 55 minutes. And, you know, it's not played for 55 minutes. We give it all back as the book. The book doesn't want to keep the money. I mean, it doesn't want to return the money. It wants to have a decision. So the fact that anyone says like, oh, you know, the books knew they called in the weather delay. No, it rained.
No.
The NFL said enough. We don't want people in the stands with the light.
Right.
Thank goodness this doesn't really happen in the regular season of the NFL. I will venture to say that this will probably happen, once in college? Somewhere, you know?
Probably, yes.
Right? Like, you know, down in September, that weather down there sometimes gets a little crazy. Sometimes in the Midwest, there's a day where it's just not going to stop, and they got to get people out of the stands, so they decide not to play. But this rule is like a baseball rule, right? Where you go, the game's not played 8.5 innings. It's not official.
Right.
So, there you go.
And it's always a possibility in this game, not any other NFL game or thing, but in this game, that's the reality of it. And you knew you had to beat the clock there because on the telecast, they kept showing the weather radar and that giant blob. And so you kind of knew they were setting you up like that thing is coming directly for us. Like, I want everyone at home to understand what we're looking at. And it wasn't a quick flyby. The storm will be out of here in 10 minutes. It covered the whole damn state for like all night. So it was unfortunate. But listen, no harm, no foul. You learned a little something. We all got to see a little football, and we'll get ready for more football next week, Thursday and Friday. Week ones of the preseason. We had some more almost scary news today with the Seattle Seahawks and Geno Smith. We're getting a better understanding, however, of Justin Herbert. the books and the overreaction here, Dave. Were you? We talked about it there. Have you? Well, stay there. When you come back here, we'll get you out of here. We'll get your thoughts on one of these late games. And what was the overreaction with the Chargers, if any, today at the books, knowing that Justin Herbert might be ready for week 1 here? I'm wondering how many people ran to the window to fade them here. We'll talk about it as Game Time Decisions continues on the grid.
Recently, I feel like I'm not doing anything wrong. I'm not making bad swings. I don't feel like I'm making terrible decisions, and just had got a little bit of a streak of bad luck on par fives. Didn't birdie any of them at the Open, didn't birdie any of them today. It's just, and I didn't feel like I did anything terribly wrong, right? But that's just golf. It happens. What's done is done, and this week is the most important week of the year right now.
If he lands it pin high, he's going to be off over the pin position and leave himself a tough putt there. That should bite now. He didn't like it by the looks of it, but he'll love it when he sees it.
Just got this before that bunker. Put himself in a good position.
Just a tiny little baby fade, ideally placed.
To tie the lead at 16. Playing well, isn't he, John Rahm?
And OMG, what a championship Sunday we just witnessed.
Win, right? Selfishly, you always want to get that done, but you don't want to see a teammate and a good friend, missing a putt for that happening for me.
The Live Golf League delivers every single event, doesn't it? I mean, what an incredible finish there. You know what, Tyrrell Hatton, I feel for him. He's been playing beautiful golf. In fact, since Miami, he's been the best player in our league based on the strokes gained metric.
I'm really happy that I had my first Live Golf win. Now that Kelly and the kids are watching, just knowing that I'm bringing the trophy home for them, it feels good to say that it's coming home.
All right, welcome back in here. Game Time Decisions on the Sports Grid Network. We welcome back in Dave Sharapan. Before he gets out of here, of course, he'll be taking over here at the top of the hour for In-Game Live Prime Time, keeping you updated on everything that's happening in Major League Baseball. Dave, what was the consensus at the books here today with the news of Justin Herbert maybe, hopefully being ready, but the more people I talk to, the more they're like, get ready for Easton Stick. Was there any movement, or are more people doubling down on the Chargers here regardless?
I don't think there's much reaction to maybe. When you don't know definitively, you don't see much action. Bets. Anyone trying to get ahead of it will probably wait for a book or two to adjust it and then come back on the Chargers, because there's a lot of people walking around waiting, thinking that Harbaugh is going to make a big difference and Herbert's going to be okay. If he misses one game, it's fine, right? There's 17 games now, not 16, and worst thing in the world, but you missed the beginning. Okay, he'll be back. He'll be fine. They'll be okay. I think that's at least the guys that I talked to were like, yeah, it's no big deal yet. We don't know. Now, if he's out 4 to 6, everything changes. So we'll find out. We talked about it yesterday. Plantar fasciitis is a painful thing, and you can't rush back from that, because if you rush back, you end up, not saying that it's going to end up like Mike Trout, but They were rushing him back to play him for, again, we still don't know what reason. And he's done. Like the rest of the season, maybe beginning of next year. So that's the last thing the Chargers need. They don't need Easton Stick for the whole season. They need him for one game.
Correct.
Or two. I don't think anybody in a Chargers training camp wants to see Easton Stick be the starter all season long.
No, 2 steps forward, 3 steps back with that injury. That's the problem. So, but it also, I think the consensus is they wouldn't put it past Harbaugh, just completely blowing this way out of proportion. And then, of course, he shows up, no problem, in week 1. That's how it works there. Sherapan, get out of here. Your Pirates scored a run. You get to follow him here coming up in a couple of minutes. Enjoy it. We'll see you again over the weekend. My man, go Pirates, go. Just 2 games out of the wild card spot right now. Kind of crazy. Down 5-1. They're definitely in it for sure. There's a really good shot that they'll make the playoff. Is he gone? Okay, good. Hell no. We ain't betting the Pirates in any way, shape, or form, in any way or capacity here. They will throw up all over themselves before it's all said and done. You heard it here first here. 2-1, by the way, Guardians on top. They came back, have taken the lead against the Orioles here. And one of the games, too, that is interesting tonight, the A's are taking on the Dodgers. And if you look at the line, you got to go, oh, boy, this is another one of these, $3 favorites with the Dodgers? And, well, you would think the only problem is no. As you can see, the Dodgers are just a $1.50 favorite on the road against the hapless Oakland Athletics. But the Oakland Athletics have proven to be extremely annoying to some teams because of their ability to hit the long ball. And Gavin Stone on the mound for the Dodgers, who has, for a while this season, was phenomenal as a rookie. The problem is he's running out of steam. He's got close to a 7 ERA his last 4 starts. So he's starting to slow down here a little bit. And this is more innings than he's thrown in his entire career. And Joey Estes on the mound for the Athletics, a 2.11 ERA in his 9 starts outside of April. Actually, really from late May to the beginning of the June, this kid has turned it on. The threat of the long ball, which doesn't really exist with the Dodgers right now outside of a couple of guys. But listen, the A's would love nothing more than to stick it to their Southern California brethren there. They would love to handle business in this one. And Gavin Stone running out of steam. Joey Estes is not. This one may be worth taking a look at the plus 1.5 on the run line with the Oakland Athletics here tonight. Whatever it may be, though, get ready for a loaded weekend, including a lot of Olympic action here. Basketball, women's soccer coming your way tomorrow. Golf, we've got you covered. And Game Time Decisions will be back tomorrow morning at 11 a.m. Eastern Time, getting you set for everything. Until then, enjoy In-Game Live Primetime next here on The Grid.
It's an incredible setup.